What happens when the man who signs your paycheck pretends to be the new guy filing paperwork in the back room? 16 stores. One of them was falling behind. Not in sales that was steady, but in morale, complaints, and turnover. Customers didn't return. Online reviews mentioned rude staff, long waits, and unclean bathrooms. But the numbers told a different story. That's what bothered Silas Langley the most. He bought the company 6 years ago. It was a mess, then bleeding money, no structure, no standards. He fixed it from the ground up. Hired new district managers, cleaned house, set systems in place. It was now a clean, fast-running machine. Except for one store in northern Illinois, Store 9, he'd never met the staff there. Turnover had been too high to keep track. And because it was part of a national chain, nobody recognized owners unless they showed up with a camera crew. Silas had no interest in that. He wanted the truth, not a performance. So he shaved his beard, dyed his graying hair brown, and put on a pair of thick glasses. He wore a plain blue uniform shirt with a fake name tag. Eddie. District Manager Clay told the staff that Eddie was a new admin trainee sent from corporate, just here for a couple weeks to help digitize old paperwork. Nobody asked questions. They were short-staffed, always had been. "New guys here," said a tall, thin man with slicked-back blonde hair as Silas walked in. "You're the scanner," Silas nodded. "Yup. Eddie, where should I start?" "In the back office," the man said, tossing a ring of keys. "Don't touch anything with a red tag. I'm Chase, store manager. If you need something, ask Paige or Travis. They know the ropes." Silas gave a quick nod and headed toward the back. The place was clean but tense. You could feel it in the way people moved, heads down, fast steps, no small talk. Silas noticed a young girl, maybe 19, wiping a table while a customer stood nearby, clearly annoyed. "Excuse me, miss, I've been waiting for napkins for 5 minutes, the customer said. "I'm sorry, sir, I didn't see, maybe pay attention," he snapped. Before Silas could step in, the girl nodded apologetically and grabbed a handful of napkins. Her face stayed blank, like she was used to it. Back in the office, Silas started sorting old employee files into digital folders. It was old work, boring, but it gave him cover. People forgot he was there. That's when he started hearing things. "Why is this order wrong again?" Chase's voice boomed from the front. "Who packed this?" A pause. I think it was Danny," someone said. "No, I saw her at the register." Silas stood up quietly and opened the door just a crack. Chase was standing near the prep counter holding a paper bag. A younger guy, Travis maybe, looked nervous. "You packed this, didn't you?" Chase said. I might have, but don't even start," Chase snapped. "You know what? I'm tired of excuses. This is the 3rd time this week. If you can't handle basic tasks, maybe this job's too much for you." Silas watched as Travis bit his lip and nodded. "I'll fix it," he mumbled. "No," Chase said sharply. "Let Danny fix it. Maybe she won't screw it up." Silas stepped back inside the office, heart pounding. That didn't sit right. Something about the way Chase shifted blame didn't feel like a one-time thing. He kept scanning. Later that afternoon, while organizing expense forms, Silas overheard Chase again, this time on the phone. "No, I already submitted the numbers," Chase said. "Yeah, I know the order's missing receipts. I told them to log it. If it's wrong, that's on them." Another pause. "Look, if corporate asks, just say the new trainee messed it up." Silas froze. He looked down at the invoice in his hand. It had his fake trainee ID scribbled at the top in red pen, his jaw clenched. He stepped out and saw Travis again, this time cleaning up a spill near the soda machine. Silas walked over casually. "Hey, you all right?" Travis looked up, surprised. "Yeah, why?" "You looked, I don't know, tense earlier." Travis gave a small shrug. "That's just how he is." "Chase," he nodded. "He's always on edge, blames people a lot, but we're all just trying to keep up. It's been rough since we lost 3 people last month." Silas frowned. "Why'd they leave?" "2 quit. One got fired for being late, but she wasn't." Clock system glitched and Chase wouldn't hear it. Silas nodded slowly. "Got it." He went back to the office, sat down, and stared at the stack of employee warnings on the desk. Almost all signed by Chase. Almost all against young staff Danny, Travis, another name, Priya. The writing was the same. Fast, messy, rushed. He leaned back in the chair and closed his eyes. He was starting to see the real problem. And it wasn't the staff. The next morning, Silas arrived earlier than scheduled. The parking lot was still empty, the sky a dull gray that matched the cracked asphalt beneath his shoes. He unlocked the back door and stepped into the quiet store. The silence was heavy, broken only by the hum of the refrigeration units and the buzz of a flickering ceiling light in the stockroom. He didn't go to the office. Not yet. Instead, he grabbed a mop and started cleaning the front entrance. 15 minutes passed before Danny arrived, her backpack slung low over one shoulder, earbuds in. She stopped when she saw him. "You're here early," she said, pulling one earbud out. "Couldn't sleep," he said, resting his hand on the mop handle. "Figured I'd make myself useful." She nodded, tossed her bag under the counter and headed to the kitchen without saying more. By the time Chase strolled in, the place smelled of fresh coffee and disinfectant. He looked around, eyebrows raised. "Someone mopped," he said. "I did," Silas replied, wiping his hands on a towel. Chase gave a short laugh. "You planning to clean the toilets too, rookie?" Silas didn't answer. Instead, he walked past him and grabbed a clipboard from the prep area. He made a note of every inventory item that was either missing or miscounted. The numbers didn't add up. Again, by mid-morning the store was busy. Customers filtered in steadily. Silas stayed in the back, scanning and logging old training files. A few were incomplete, some signed only by Chase, others missing entirely. He flagged them silently, took photos with his burner phone, and tucked the originals back where they were at the front. A commotion broke out. "I asked for no onions," said a man in a business suit, holding up a sandwich like it was contaminated. "This is ridiculous." "I can make you another one," Paige said, visibly trying to stay calm. "No, I don't have time for that. You people can't follow basic instructions." "I'm sorry, sir, you should be. I'm not paying for this." "Get me your manager." Chase appeared instantly, walking over with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. "What seems to be the problem?" "I asked for no onions. Got onions. Now I'm late for a meeting." "We can remake it," Chase said smoothly. "On the house. Just give us a moment." "I don't want another sandwich, I want a refund." From the back, Silas watched Chase glance over his shoulder, then he turned back to the customer. "You're absolutely right, we'll take care of it. Paige, go clock out for 10 minutes, I'll handle this." Paige blinked. "Wait, what? You heard me." She hesitated, then walked off, jaw tight. Chase rang up a refund, apologized again, and handed the man a coupon for a free meal. The customer left. Chase turned toward the kitchen. "You screw up someone's order, you cover the cost." "That's fair." Silas watched him disappear into the office and followed after a few minutes. Chase was sitting at the desk, typing quickly. "Busy morning," Silas said casually, standing just inside the door. "Always is," Chase replied, not looking up. "That girl, Paige. She's good with customers. She's all right. Makes mistakes, though. Can't afford that during lunch rush." Silas nodded slowly, then gestured toward a stack of forms. "These are all incident reports?" he asked. "Yeah, some of them dating back months." "We're required to keep them." Silas picked one up. The handwriting was familiar, sharp angles, rushed ink. Every report blamed an hourly employee. Not a single write-up for a supervisor, not one. "You ever get written up?" he asked, keeping his tone light. Chase laughed. "Me, no. I run this place tight. If something goes wrong, it's because someone didn't follow what I told them." Silas didn't reply. He left the room and took a walk outside. The air was cool, crisp. He pulled out his phone and called Clay, the district manager. "I need the last 12 months of shift schedules, break logs, and payroll records for Store 9, he said. Clay hesitated. "That's a lot of files." "Get them." He hung up. Back inside, Travis was stocking cups near the soda fountain. He moved slowly, rubbing his wrist between each stack. "You okay?" Silas asked, walking up. "Yeah, just sore. Burned myself with the fryer 2 days ago." "Did you report it?" Travis shrugged. "Didn't seem worth it." Silas crouched down beside him. "That's not nothing. You shouldn't be handling the front if you're injured." "I told Chase." He said if I needed time off, he'd have to cut my hours next week. Silas stood up. You want to take a break for a bit, I'll cover. He shook his head. I can't afford to lose the time. Silas didn't push it. He walked back to the office. That afternoon, a delivery arrived. A middle-aged man with a clipboard wheeled 3 pallets of supplies through the back door. Silas helped unload. Store 9 again, the man said, shaking his head. You guys always order weird. Like stuff nobody else asks for. Like what? Extra boxes of brand-name snacks. Premium syrup brands. I usually bring generic elsewhere. Who requests it? Manager signs the order, says it's a local promotion. Silas narrowed his eyes. You ever see those items on the shelves? The driver laughed. Nah. I just drop 'em off. That night, after the store closed, Silas stayed behind. He pulled every recent order form, every delivery invoice. The handwriting was the same. Chase's. He walked the aisles. No trace of the name brand snacks. No premium syrups in the beverage station. He opened the back freezer. Nothing. He turned off the light and shut the door. The next morning, he arrived with a USB drive in his pocket and a list in his head. He started matching timestamps, delivery times, clock-ins, payroll logs. Patterns emerged. The same names worked every time something went missing. The same errors, always blamed on the youngest or newest employee. And Chase never seemed to be on the schedule during those errors, but he was always logged into the POS system during adjustments. Silas waited until the lunch rush passed. Then he walked to the front, removed his glasses, and called the staff together. Can everyone come up here for a minute? Heads turned. Confused glances passed around. Chase stepped forward, arms crossed. Something wrong, Eddie? Silas looked him in the eye. Yeah, something's very wrong. He pulled the fake name tag from his chest and set it on the counter. My name's Silas Langley. I own this company. Silence. Paige dropped the tray she was holding. Travis froze mid-step. Danny looked like she'd stopped breathing. Chase's expression didn't change, but a dull flush rose up his neck. We're going to have a conversation, Silas said, voice low but steady. And I suggest you don't lie. He turned to the employees. I've been here 4 days. I've seen things that don't belong in this company. People being blamed unfairly, orders being manipulated, injuries ignored, supplies unaccounted for. That ends now. He turned to Chase. In fact, you're done now. Chase opened his mouth, but Silas cut him off. Don't speak. You're fired. Effective immediately. Your access is revoked. You'll be escorted out. He dialed Clay on speaker. Send someone to pick up the store keys from Chase. He's out. Clay didn't hesitate. Yes, sir. I'll be there in 20 minutes. Silas looked at the others. I'm staying for the rest of the week. We're going to fix this. No one spoke. Then Travis stepped forward. Does that mean someone will finally listen? Silas nodded, starting now. By the time Clay arrived, Chase was seated on a metal stool in the back office, arms folded, jaw tight. The staff kept glancing toward the hallway, silent and on edge. No one spoke to him. No one sat near him. Silas stood by the prep counter, clipboard in hand, reviewing the day's schedule. He didn't look up when the door opened. You got the keys? Clay asked. Chase didn't move at first. Clay waited, then, slowly, Chase reached into his pocket, pulled out the store keys, and set them on the table without a word. You'll be escorted out, Clay said flatly. You're not to return. If you have any personal items, get them now. Chase walked out without looking at anyone. No goodbyes. No protest. Just the sound of his shoes crossing the tile and the door shutting one final time. Silas let out a slow breath. I want the rest of today to run as close to normal as possible, he said. But after close, we're staying for a team meeting. Mandatory. Paige raised a hand slightly. Do we still clock that? Of course, Silas said. You'll be paid for every minute. She nodded, lowering her hand. Clay stayed behind to help stabilize the schedule. They couldn't leave the store leaderless, but Silas wasn't ready to promote anyone yet. Not until he understood who these people really were, what they'd endured, what they needed. He took the rest of the afternoon working shoulder to shoulder with the team, at the register with Danny during the mid-afternoon rush, bagging orders with Travis. refilling stock with Priya, who had returned for a short shift after class. "Did you know it was you?" she asked while they restocked lids. "No," Silas said. "That was the point." She placed a stack of cup sleeves into the dispenser. "So what now? We fix what's broken. But first, I need to understand how deep it goes." She didn't say anything else, but her posture softened slightly. After close, the team gathered near the front counter. The fluorescent lights were harsh overhead, and fatigue hung on everyone's faces. Some leaned against walls, others sat on milk crates pulled from the back. No one looked relaxed. Silas stood in front of the menu boards, hands behind his back. "I appreciate you all staying. I know it's been a long day. I'll keep this direct," he said. "What I saw here this week doesn't match the culture I've built, and I take responsibility for not catching it sooner." No one interrupted. He continued. "I want to hear from you, one at a time. What's been happening here, what you've been dealing with. Start wherever you want. This is off the record, but be honest." There was a pause, then Danny spoke, soft but steady. "I used to like working here," she said. "My first week I got trained by a guy named Marcus. He was patient, showed me how to handle lunch rush without panicking. He quit after Chase started changing his hours last minute, said it wasn't worth the stress." Silas nodded. "Did you ever report that?" "I tried, got told to talk to Chase, so I stopped." Next, Travis leaned forward, elbows on his knees. "I was excited when I got the job. But after the second month, I started noticing things. Orders being changed after they were packed, tips missing from my drawer. I thought I was going crazy." "Did you tell anyone?" I asked Chase once. He said maybe I was too distracted and should focus more. "After that, I just kept quiet." Paige shifted her weight and looked up. "He made me cry in front of a customer once," she said. "Said I had no business working the register with that face. I thought maybe he meant I looked tired. But then he said I should stay in the kitchen where no one had to see me." Silas's stomach turned. "Did anyone else hear that?" he asked. Danny nodded. "I did. So did Priya." He looked at Priya. She gave a small, almost imperceptible nod. "Why didn't you report it?" "Because the last time someone did, they stopped getting scheduled," she said flatly. Silas didn't speak for a moment. He looked at each person in turn. "From now on, if anyone is ever talked to like that again about their appearance, their background, or anything personal, you come directly to me. No filters, no middlemen." He turned back to Travis. "Tips. Did anyone else experience missing tips?" Several hands went up. "I'd see the tip screen show $5, but only 3 made it into my drawer," Danny said. "Sometimes I'd get nothing, even when customers clearly tapped the button," Priya added. Silas took a breath. I reviewed the POS logs. Chase was adjusting tip totals after employees clocked out. Gasps rippled through the group. "That's theft," Paige said quietly. "Yes, it is." He paused before continuing. "There were also irregularities in supply orders, items that never made it to inventory. I have reason to believe Chase was reselling them privately. We've already opened that investigation." The room was silent again. "This shouldn't have happened on my watch," Silas said. "I built this brand because I believed in dignity, respect, discipline, yes, but fair discipline, not fear. Not humiliation." He looked around the room. "This store will not operate like that ever again." No one moved. Then Travis spoke. "So what happens now?" Silas looked at Clay, then back at the team. "First, we're bringing in a temporary GM from another location, someone I trust. She'll be here tomorrow. Her name is Alina. She's led our flagship store in Denver for 3 years. You'll find she listens. You'll also help train her on how this store runs. It's your home, you know it best." Paige raised her eyebrows. "We're training her. She knows operations. But I want her to understand your rhythm, your strengths. You're not just employees, you're partners in this fix." He looked to Priya. "How many hours are you scheduled this week?" She hesitated. 12. "You want more?" "Yes. You've got 24 starting next week." He turned to Danny. "You're studying, right?" She nodded. "I'll make sure we work around your finals next month. No more schedule changes without your input." Then to Travis. "You're getting hazard pay for that fryer burn, retroactive from the day it happened." And you're not working the grill until you're cleared. Travis looked stunned. Seriously? Seriously. Silas stood straighter. One last thing. Tomorrow, we're deep cleaning this store together, from the baseboards to the vents. We're going to reset this space. Not just physically, but mentally. A fresh start. As the meeting broke up, people lingered not to leave, but to talk. For the first time, there was conversation that didn't sound nervous. Jokes exchanged. Shoulders dropped. Silas moved to the back where Clay was reviewing tomorrow's roster. "You got someone to cover Chase's payroll duties?" Silas asked. "Already sent it to HQ. They'll audit for tampering." "Good." Clay hesitated. "You handled that well." Silas looked out at the front where Danny and Priya were laughing softly over a joke Paige made. "No," he said. "I should have handled it 6 months ago." He walked out to the dining area, grabbed a rag and started wiping down tables with Travis. This time, no one looked away. The next morning, before the sun rose over the parking lot, Silas unlocked the front door himself. The store was quiet, dew still clinging to the windows. He set a fresh box of microfiber cloths on the counter, filled a bucket with warm water and disinfectant, and waited. By 6:30, Danny arrived, followed by Travis and Priya. Each looked surprised to see him already there, sleeves rolled up, scrubbing the door handles. "You're early," Travis said, setting his backpack down. "So are you," Silas replied. "That's a good sign." Within 20 minutes, Paige walked in, tying her apron as she stepped behind the counter. She gave a small nod toward the supply closet. "Already pulled the gloves and mop heads. I figured we'd need them." Silas nodded. "Thanks." At 7 sharp, Alina arrived. She stepped in, crisp-pressed uniform, black boots, clipboard in hand. Her presence was steady, not loud, not forced. Her eyes moved quickly, catching details others might miss. A loose ceiling tile above the back cooler, a cracked panel on the prep counter, a missing screw on the coffee dispenser. "I'm here to learn," she told the team. "But I've also got a job to do. If something's not right, I won't wait to fix it." No one challenged her. They didn't need to. She wasn't there to assert control, she was there to help carry weight. Silas gathered them near the dry storage shelves. "Today's not a normal shift. We're closed until noon. Phones will still ring, customers may knock, but we're not opening those doors until this store reflects the team that runs it." They nodded. He handed out task sheets, each one handwritten by him the night before. Assignments were based on what he'd seen each person do well. Danny was given the front lobby, Travis the stockroom. Paige was assigned to scrub every surface in the prep kitchen. Priya took the restrooms and customer-facing areas. "Work at your own pace," he said. "We're not racing. We're reclaiming the space." By 8:30, the smell of bleach and citrus cleaner had replaced the stale grease odor that had lingered for too long. The team moved with purpose, not rushed, a focused rhythm, like something rebuilding itself from the inside. While Alina worked with Paige in the prep area, Silas joined Priya near the customer restrooms. "I've never seen it this clean," she said, wiping down the base of the sink. "It's like we're finally allowed to care." "You always were," Silas said. "You just weren't given the space to do it." She paused, looked at him. "You think this'll last?" "That depends on us," he said. "Not just today, every week, every shift." In the back, Travis discovered a stack of expired cleaning tablets behind the mop sink, months old. He brought them out and laid them on the counter without a word. Alina saw and nodded once. They were thrown out immediately. By mid-morning, the break room had been reorganized. Old notices were torn down. A new corkboard had been installed with only 3 sheets pinned to it. The upcoming schedule, the updated code of conduct, and an anonymous reporting form. At 11:15, Silas called them into the dining area. "You've done more in 4 hours than most teams do in a week," he said. "But this is only the start. When we open at noon, we don't just serve food, we represent what this place should have always been." He looked at Alina. "She's here for the next 6 weeks. After that, one of you will take over as store lead. But it won't be a title handed down just because you've been here longest. You'll earn it through consistency, fairness, and reliability." Danny raised her hand. What if none of us want it? Silas smiled faintly. Then you'll still have a say in who does. At noon, the lights shifted from cleaning mode to open hours. The front doors were unlocked. Customers trickled in slowly at first, then steadily. Word had already spread. The girl at the register smiled. The prep line moved smoothly. Orders came out right on time with eye contact and thank yous. Around 2, a woman in scrubs came in during her lunch break. She looked around, blinking at the spotless tables and polished floor. "This place looks different," she said to Priya. "We've been working on it," Priya replied. "Let us know if you need anything." The woman smiled. "I already feel welcome. That's new." By 4 o'clock, the store had served more customers than it usually did on an entire Thursday, but no one looked overwhelmed. Breaks were staggered, not skipped. Alina rotated with the team, stepping in on the line whenever someone needed to refill or reset. In the back office, Silas sat with Clay, going over the final audit results. The missing tip amounts traced back over 9 weeks. The stolen product losses were smaller than expected but consistent. Chase had padded invoices and skimmed from vendor overages. They'd turned over the findings to corporate compliance. "He'll be blacklisted from every store in this network," Clay said, "and every vendor we use." Silas nodded. "Good. But we're not done." He pulled out a printed sheet, an internal staff review form. "I want one of these filled out every 60 days at every location, not just for the manager, for the staff, anonymous, no filters." Clay looked it over. "You want to do this at scale?" "I'd rather hear bad news early than pretend everything's fine." Clay folded the sheet. "It's a good move." At closing, the team sat in the break room, not because they were told to, but because they stayed. Travis leaned back in his chair. "I didn't realize how much garbage was sitting in the dry storage. I found 3 dead batteries in a box of ketchup packets." Danny laughed. "I found a spoon stuck behind the milk fridge. It was covered in dust. Like layers?" Priya shook her head. "I don't know if I was more proud or grossed out." Alina stood near the doorway, arms crossed loosely. "You've got a good team," she said to Silas quietly. "They just needed to breathe," he replied. Before leaving, Silas pulled Paige aside. "You handled yourself well this week. Quiet but steady. I like working. I don't like drama, neither do I. Think about stepping into a shift lead role, not today, not tomorrow, but soon." She hesitated. "I don't want to turn into him." "You won't, because you already care about doing it right." She gave a single nod. Silas walked out through the front exit, the same one he had mopped just 2 mornings ago. The windows were clean now. The lights inside warm instead of sterile. The team behind the counter moved with confidence, not because someone was watching, but because they finally could. He didn't need to come back tomorrow. Alina had it. The team had it. But he would anyway, not to check up, but to stay connected. As he stepped into the evening air, he didn't feel like he was leaving a store. He felt like he'd finally returned to it.